Hi guys, good evening and very excited to chat with you today on a couple of things. And if you guys have been following my Ayurveda journey, then you're going to absolutely love this episode. Yes, we are looking at a whole different sort of conversation now with over the last 2 years and our choices and preferences in terms of how we're trying to get to the root cause of things versus just trying to treat symptomatically has most definitely changed. I want to know how many of you all here have started, your perspective to medicine treatments has really changed over the last 2 years. Today we're talking of speaking of Ayurveda and post-COVID recovery for children. A lot of our kids have felt the impact in the last 40 to 60 days, and they are now going to step into schools and they're still unvaccinated. So how are we battling the post-COVID recovery and prepping for a new phase? We have Dimple Jangda of Prana Ayurveda here with us. Thank you, Dimple, for always doing this for us and chatting with us. It's always absolute pleasure. I'm going to dive in straight into the conversation and, the big elephant in the room, right? Last 40 to 60 days, a lot of our kids have been impacted with COVID. The recovery is we don't know yet the science and the logic to what are the post-COVID ailments, or what's the impact that it's actually causing on children. But what is it that we can do to support them as children and their immunity?
So I'm glad that we're addressing this children's health. Have you looked at the patterns? The first wave that happened affected all senior citizens and those with morbidities. Severe health issues and lifestyle diseases like diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure, cardiovascular health issues. They were the first one to get impacted. So the first wave, the senior citizens were very sensitive to it. In fact, I lost 3 aunts, to different health issues, but they all passed away after recovering from COVID. So they got impacted by COVID, recovered, and then collapsed to a heart attack or, cancer or something of that sort within a few months. Now, there's a direct linkage to why it was doing. Second wave hit a lot of adults in their 30s and 40s. Most of us got impacted. I got COVID too in the second wave, but I was asymptomatic, luckily, right? Not all of us are that lucky. The third wave is affecting children now.
Right.
Children are the last ones to get carried away into this wave, okay? But I'll tell you the good and the bad of it. So recently, my best friend's daughter, 10-year-old Sophia, contracted COVID too. And this was just before we were starting our yoga teacher training course. And I felt so bad for the mother, being stuck with her husband who's COVID positive and the child. And she kept complaining of body pain and fever. Now, these are some things that we can pay attention to, okay? Number one, okay, remember, a child has better, possibilities of building antibodies than adults. So look at the brighter side. It's better that they get the COVID now, build antibodies, get done with it once and for all, and they'll be able to face any kind of COVID variant that comes out in the future. That's a good part, okay? Not to scare you. The second part is children are more susceptible to cold, cough, flu, sinus, lung congestion, and bronchial disorders because they tend to have a lot of imbalances in the top part of the body. Now, like you said in the beginning of this interview, I loved listening to you say, just removing milk from their diet can have such an impact on their health.
Yeah.
Right? Because milk is difficult to digest. Milk and yogurt is a very heavy food, and yogurt is considered, curd in fact, is considered the heaviest food in Ayurveda. So if they have COVID, definitely avoid milk and yogurt and dahi. You can have turmeric milk though. Turmeric milk is an exception because turmeric, when it's added to milk, cancels the cold of the milk. Milk has a cooling effect on the body. It causes more mucus production. So those who have cold and cough, we generally say stay away from milk, plain milk or milk with sugar. Instead, have turmeric milk, just this much. Don't have like a big glass and say, oh, I have turmeric milk. This much is enough, 100 ml, right? So staying away from milk is great. You can instead incorporate a lot of paneer, ghee, and cheese. Cheese, homemade cheese, not your processed cheese that's yellow in color or blue in color. Not the cheese that has shelf life, because that's not going to help the case. Okay, paneer is a great source of vitamin D. Now you have to understand what the virus does. Okay, just to briefly tell you, it attacks the RBC, the red blood cells that carry oxygen to the body. right? So that's why people's oxygen level dropped. In the second wave, there was a massive oxygen, oxygen was in short supply.
Yeah.
You know, it became a massive crisis, and India looked like as if it was the poorest country in the world. You know, it was a very
Yeah.
sad situation. So oxygen supply drops. What do you need to do is focus on rebuilding your RBC, which carries oxygen to the rest of the body. How do you do that? So oxygen is not the problem, it's RBC. Your body uses up all the iron reserves now to rebuild the RBC, and the hair follicles and skin goes into a resting phase and your hair starts falling.
Right.
Most of us experience that, right? So what do? You increase your iron intake, vitamin C and vitamin D intake during the pandemic, especially if you've been diagnosed with COVID, because your body needs to replenish all the damaged tissues, muscles and nerves. Where do you get vitamin C from? Like, I'll let you guess.
Vitamin C, right? Yeah, your amlas, your lemon water, yeah, I can see.
Oranges, tangerines, right?
Oranges,
You're
tangerines.
absolutely right. So give your child 1 amla per day. Now, amla is available in various forms. You know, it can be a sweetened amla, murba, or khatta amla juice if they like the khatta taste.
Yeah.
Why not? Amla is a great source of vitamin C. 1 amla is equal to 20 citric fruits. So that is 5 glasses of orange juice in one go. Okay, 1 amla. It's loaded with vitamin C. It's anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It'll boost your immunity against the virus and improve your recovery process. Now, the virus has already entered the body. It's doing its job. It's creating antibodies now. Your virus and your immune system together. Now, you focus on providing it the vitamin C it needs to fight the virus. So, lots of vitamin C in the diet. Give your child 1 glass of orange juice, freshly squeezed. Never give juices from the refrigerator or from a Tetra Pak. Tetra Pak is the worst thing you can do to your child. It's loaded with sweeteners and preservatives. Unhealthy. It has to be freshly squeezed. Do not keep in the refrigerator. Immediately give the child a fresh orange juice. You can give it in the mornings or evenings at 4 o'clock. Amla is best had in the mornings along with your dry fruits. Give your child 5 almonds soaked overnight. Next morning, peel it and let them chew on it. If they're too tired or too sluggish and they're lacking energy because of COVID, you can also make a smoothie out of it. Almond smoothie is basically almond milk with some more dry fruits in it, like say maybe 1 date, 5 black raisins, few pistachios slivered and added on the top, little turmeric, and even a saffron string. So this is called an almond smoothie, which is great and safe because you're not adding any fruit to it, which can make it toxic for children. Children are even more sensitive to milkshakes. Do not give them milkshakes. Off topic, since we touched on Virudaha. Do not give them milkshakes. It's poisonous. Grapes and milk, if they come into contact, they can cause instant death in children. It's that dangerous, grapes and milk.
Right.
Okay? Apple milkshake, poisonous. Banana milkshake, poisonous. They all cause skin diseases. Almond smoothie is a great thing to give. It's called masala doodh in south of India and in, Gujarati, Marwari culture. We all have a masala doodh. Give them a masala doodh with almond milk. Then give them increased intake of vitamin D. Vitamin D, best source is paneer. Dahi is a great source of vitamin D, but at this moment during COVID, you don't want to give them dahi because it's difficult to digest and they might catch a cold and a cough. So give them a lot of paneer. 30 grams of paneer deep fried in ghee. It's a great way of improving the vitamin D levels. 30 grams of paneer deep fried in ghee, not oil. Okay, stay away from oily foods because oily foods will increase the fever symptoms. Instead, give them foods cooked in ghee. Your vegetables, your dals, and your rice and your parathas and rotis can have a lot of ghee. They'll not like bitter vegetables, but you need to incorporate it in their diet because bitter taste helps in killing the virus too. So what is a bitter taste you can include? Methi ka thepla is a great way. Karela is a little difficult for them to eat. You can put ajwain, which is carom seeds, fenugreek, which is methi. Put that in the dals. And put a pinch of hing, asafoetida. Hing also helps in fighting the virus, by the way.
Right.
Okay, so a little bit of bitter foods in the diet, very slowly. They will not like it if you give them a Karela juice. They're not going to have it. And don't even do it because it might cause nausea for children and vomiting, which is very bad for them. It can cause pain, right? Make them steam with eucalyptus oil drops at least 3 to 5 times a day. Yeah. This is compulsory for adults, children, senior citizens. Don't apply the oil on the skin if the child has fever because if you put oil on a feverish skin, the skin might burn. Okay?
Right.
So we generally say put a drop of eucalyptus oil on the chest, back and behind the ears if you have a cold and cough, but not when you have a fever. Okay? Just a few drops in a steamer and steam. Like, this is work in progress. Even I am constantly discovering and learning new things about eucalyptus oil. Bachcho ko, the best way to make them take a bath is make them sit down, take a bucket of water. I take it in a copper bucket or a brass bucket because it's very healthy. Add a few neem leaves and warm water. Pour warm water below their chest, and their shoulders and head is always room temperature water. Okay, warm water below the chest and room temperature water for the head region because the nerves here are very sensitive. You don't want to cause it to become heated. Put neem leaves. It kills the virus in the sweat glands because you're constantly releasing the virus through your sweat, through your saliva, mucus, urine and feces. Change their toothbrush every 3 days if you can. Take a sasta toothbrush, something that's not too expensive. Make sure to change it every 3 days for them when they have COVID, because the toothbrush also has the COVID virus. You don't want to ingest the virus back when you recover.
Right.
Right? Simple tricks like that. Changing the toothbrush. Warm water bath with neem leaves. Placing neem and eucalyptus leaves around the house will help in protecting the immunity of the rest of the family. Now, another thing you need to include in the child's diet is carrots, beetroot and spinach. Carrot, beetroot will help in generating new blood for the child. Okay, we need new RBC because they're getting destroyed by the COVID virus. So incorporate a bowl of steamed carrots and beetroot in their lunch every day. Steam it so well that they can literally just swallow it as soon as they put it in their mouth. Okay, add a little pink salt, some black pepper. You need to keep adding black pepper in their meals by tricking them so that they can't see it. So if you put it in carrots, steamed carrots, carrots are sweet. Black pepper is a great way of adding and balancing that taste. And
Right.
pepper especially is great for bronchial health. Right?
Yeah.
So pinch of black pepper, pink salt. You can even squeeze a little lemon juice in it if they like the tangy taste. Otherwise, you avoid. Steamed carrots and beetroot for lunch. Dinner has to start with a big bowl of carrot, beetroot and spinach soup. Spinach again is loaded with iron. You need to replenish your iron levels in the body. At this point in time, because the virus is attacking all the RBC and the body is using up all the iron reserves, now the skin and hair is becoming dull. They start having a lot of body aches and pains. You need to increase that iron intake. How can you do that? Celery, cilantro, curry leaves, moringa, spirulina, any green leafy vegetable is a great source of iron. Why? Because green, the color itself comes from iron. Okay, it's because of the iron in it that it's green in color. You can also give them a glass of carrot, beetroot and amla juice in the morning if they love a vegetable juice taste. That's a great way of doing it. My trick is steam it a little bit and then make a juice out of it so that there's no parasites in raw vegetables. So these are some easy tricks to follow at home so that your child can fight the virus faster. Bitter foods, and definitely stay away from sweet foods. Sweet foods like sugar, definitely stay away from it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dimple, for joining in.
Thank you. Lots of love, guys.
Bye.
Bye.